after the Hungarian Grand Prix, one thing cannot be denied, and that is that Max Verstappen is not a very happy bunny right now. But some peace of mind for Red Bull is that it appears as though he will stay for the duration of his current contract. And in fact, it might actually technically have been slightly extended from what it previously was. So what's happened? What's happened over the Hungarian Grand Prix weekend to cause this? Well, let's get into it. Now, as always, guys, there's a full article over on the f1chronicle.com if you want to check out this in far more detail than what I can do in this 5-minute video. But I'll read out what I can here. So, as Red Bull reaches a decisive turning point in his extended leadership power struggle, Max Verstappen's public anger boiled over spectacularly in Hungary. Before the race, the triple world champion already let his frustration be known about the declining car performance. A key meeting of the team and the brand's most powerful figures met for lunch. So basically, there's been this power struggle for a long time, pretty much at Red Bull. You've got the guys who own Red Bull, you've got the Thai family who do that, you've got the people who were involved with Dietrich Mateschitz when he was still alive, and I think it's passed down to his son now, I believe. You've also got Helmut Marko, who's kind of on the more sporting driver side of things. You've got Christian Horner, who's the team boss and the CEO of Red Bull Racing, and you've got the guy in the car, Max Verstappen. They all met apparently at the Hungarian Grand Prix. What they were discussing, don't know, but apparently it involved a lawyer. So it must have been some pretty serious stuff. Let me just go into this in a bit more detail. Bild newspaper showed the energy drink company's new sports CEO Oliver Mintzlaff dining with Thai shareholder Chalem Uvidia as a Red Bull lawyer was also there, as well as Christian Horner and Dr. Helmut Marko. Mintzlaff told Bild, "We are all pulling together and have only one goal: the greatest possible success for the team." Straight out of PR training there. Good job, mate. Just hours earlier, the Dutch media reported that team advisor Marko's contract with Red Bull had been tweaked at Mintzlaff's urging, so as to unite it from Verstappen's presence at the team. Sorry, untie it, I should say. That's the absolute opposite of unite. To separate it. The implication is that Verstappen is now locked into his current Red Bull contract through to 2028, which would be bad news for the hopeful Mercedes team, their boss Toto Wolff, who is trying to sign the Dutchman. Wolff said the following: "I don't know exactly what the content of the clause was because I haven't seen it. The most important thing is that a driver wants to stay in the team and drive for them. Everything depends on that." Helmut Marko denied the reports about the removed contract clause, saying that is not true, but we do not want to discuss it publicly. This has no direct consequences for Max Verstappen. Former F1 driver and now German television pundit Ralf Schumacher is not so sure the power struggle at Red Bull is over. He said, and I quote, "Theoretically there is a line under it, but we see the emotions," he said. I think Schumacher's got the nail on the head there. I mean, it's such a nasty power struggle. I mean, obviously you throw Jos Verstappen in there as well, and it's complicated. There's so many rifts and factions and feuds. But whatever they discussed, it must have been serious. If a lawyer was present there, it must be very serious, because you don't bring them in because they're expensive lawyers. I'll have you know, they are very expensive, especially the ones that Red Bull will be employing. So they won't have just brought them there on a whim and just like, "Hey mate, do you want to pop down to the local cafe, have a Red Bull and whatever food they have there?" I don't know what food they'd have at the Red Bull motorhome. But the energy station, that's it. That's the branding they use. But yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I think after this weekend anyway, I don't think Mercedes were going to sign Verstappen anyway, for two reasons. One, because Kimi Antonelli played an absolute blinder, had one of the weekends of his life in Formula 2. And also on top of that, Max Verstappen has shown himself to be someone who is extremely emotional, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I mean, Lewis Hamilton's very emotional as well, but there's levels to this game. And the level that Max Verstappen was boiling over was concerning, to say the least. And I've already done a video going over it, my thoughts about it, and what's the cause of it, and where they kind of go from there. But yeah, it really would not have endeared him to any other team trying to sign him. But it's good news for Red Bull. Their triple world champion is going to stay there for another 4 years after this. It's such a long-term deal. But yeah. Guys, what do you think? Do you believe Helmut Marko when he says that the clause in that contract is not true? I'll be honest, there's no smoke without fire. There's no lawyers without legal negotiations. I think they must have discussed something very serious. Whether it was this or something else, we don't know. Well, I imagine it probably was, to be honest, because that is allegedly one of the most contentious things. Or just thought of this now, perhaps Is it to do with Checo? Is it to do with Sergio Perez's contract? A way to get rid of him? A way to keep him? Who knows? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, guys. And of course, like, subscribe, follow, ring the bell, all that good stuff to see much more Formula 1 content just like this.